Okay, now.
Kerst Pogrom. Achter zo bezig op de nacht, is rois van Eierskas, als jeden zo'n liegen behalten, sie tun sich nicht drehen in Gas, als jeden zo'n liegen behalten, zij tun sich nicht drehen in Gas. Oi, süßer Gott im Himmel, kiek schön auf der Welt.
Good morning.
Dem
Steve is in the hospital.
Steve who?
Goldstein. He
Okay,
has
guys,
a.
guys.
Let me be sure that.
Dem raschen geht Himmel, was haben die Jeden verwehrt? Aho, es sind drei Guren, hab'n gelegt bis zu dem Grind, Bettgewand hat man gerissen, die Federn gelost auf dem Wind. Bettgewand hat man gerissen, die Federn gelost auf dem Wind. In die Federn ist man gegangen, also wie Winter im Schnee. Farbe hat man geschlagen, Männer gerissen auf zwei. Farbe hat man geschlagen, die Männer zerrissen auf zwei. Süße Gott im Himmel, kiek schön auf der Welt. Wo sind die Jeden, wo sind die? Wo sie haben goe kein Welt. Wo sind die Jeden, wo sind die? Wo sie haben goe kein Welt.
Sad.
Yeah. Okay. This song is not for the faint of heart.
No.
Yeah. Okay. So, Janet, can you start reading the English, please?
We have been reading Nicht kein Neues, no news, in which a Russian Jew relates to his landsman in America the terrible news of the Kishinev pogrom of 1903. On his website, Yiddish Song WordPress.com, the musicologist and folklore expert Itzhak Gottesman discusses the folk song Das Lied von Kishinever pogrom and similar songs that were written about pogroms in Bialystok 1905-1906 and Volodarka July 1919. Rumors that the Tsar had instigated the Kishinev pogrom have been disproven. But Pavel Khrushchevin, who is mentioned in the story, was shown to have spread vicious lies about Jewish conspiracies and to have supported Black Hundred activities in the area of Kishinev. He himself very likely wrote the fake protocols of the Elders of Zion, which he first published in 1903, serialized in his newspaper. It's horrible. Livshe Schechter Widman Bela, Schechter Gottesman's mother and Itzhak Gottesman's grandmother, sings Das Lied von Kishinever pogrom here. She grew up in Bukovina, where she learned most of the songs in her repertoire. She came to America in 1908 and lived on the Lower East Side, but she did not succeed on the Yiddish stage. She returned to Bukovina and got married. After the war, she returned to New York and lived in the Bronx. She recorded the song in 1954.
Wow.
Okay, thank you. Elaine, can you start the reading?
Yes, I had a lot of trouble with this translation, so I'm probably going to need a lot of help.
Okay, Maurice is here to help you.
Okay. Ha'achron shel Pesach auf der Nacht is arois anaya Roskaz. As Jiden sollen liegen behalten, sie torn nicht sich drehen in Gas. So on the last night of Pesach, at night, outside there was a new Ruskaz. I don't know. I couldn't find that word in Ruskaz. What is it?
Right. It's it means an order, like an official command, like a decree. Right?
Okay.
Hoist means it came out. They came out with a new order.
A new order.
Decree.
Okay.
A decree?
Yes.
Oh, a decree. Okay, good. Okay. That Jews should hide themselves, lie hidden. They better not go out in the street.
What does the first word mean?
Acharon, the last day.
The last day of Pesach. Achron
Is
shel
that
Pesach.
Hebrew?
It is a Hebrew word, right?
It is Hebrew, yeah.
It looks to me like Hasorim, but it isn't.
It's Achron.
No.
It's the last day.
Okay. Elaine, can you continue?
Sure. Oi, dieser Gott in Himmel, guck schon herab auf der Erd. Seh nur dem Rosh und Getummel, was haben die Jiden verwehrt. Oh, sweet God in heaven, look now down on the earth. Just see the evil and the tumult that the Jews have. I had trouble with this sentence. That they, I don't know. That the Jews have. There is a lied or a sin or I couldn't.
No. Vert here it means worth. What is a Jewish life?
What is a Jewish life worth?
Right.
Got it. What is a Jewish, okay, Bus haben die Jiden what, okay.
What value? What worth?
What value does a Jew have? What
Right.
value does a Jew have?
In other words, looking down and seeing what's happening, you have to ask, what is a Jewish life worth?
Right. Okay.
Oh, okay. Let's go. Maurice Narunsky, can you continue?
Okay. A huis van 3 Gard hat men gelegt bis zu dem bis zu dem Grund. So a house of 3 was Gern?
Gon is stories. A 3-story house.
Oh, a 3 Gern hat men gelegt is what, wasted?
Yeah.
Well, gelegt bis zu dem Grund. It was raised to the ground.
Yeah. Gelegt. Bis zu dem Grund, yeah, to the ground. But gewort?
Bet gewandt.
Bis gewandt hat man gerissen. Bit gewandt.
Bet gewandt.
Bedding.
Was?
Bedding.
Bettgewand, bedding.
Bedding. Hat man, they tore up the bedding. Die verdieren.
Federn. Federn.
Feathers.
Oh, yeah,
Federn.
feathers. De Federn gelost auf dem Wand.
Wind.
Wind. Off the wind. And the feathers were thrown to the wind.
Right.
Okay. Any questions until now? Okay, thank you. Thank you,
Wait,
Maurice.
in those days, the bedding had feathers. I forget what you call it when you have bedding like that.
Feather bedding.
Yeah, but in Yiddish.
No, it's Bettgewand.
Down feathers.
What?
A kotz is a blanket, and
Ida down.
Yeah.
Iberbett. Iberbett.
No, we called it a perne.
Yeah. Iberbett or perne.
Yeah, feather bedding miteinander sagt. This is a useless job for railroad workers. They call that feather bedding.
Yeah, not in this context, right?
Okay, so let's go. Anita, please.
a deck.
Anita.
In the Federn ist man gegangen also wie Winter in Schnee. On the feathers, they walk like in the snow, like in winter, the winter snow. So it was soft. Weiber hat man geschlagen. Männen Geräusch auf zwei. Gerissen auf zwei. So the women, they hit,
They beat the women.
They hit the women, and the men, they tore them apart.
Right.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry, what did you say about the men?
They
tore them apart.
Okay, Bonnie.
In the game.
Bonnie, you got it?
What?
I asked Bonnie if she asked the question. Did you get the answer?
Yeah, he said the men tore them apart.
They tore the men apart. They tore them in two.
The feathers.
No,
the women.
They beat the women, and actually worse than that. And the men they tore in two.
It's a description of a pogrom.
Okay.
That's what it is, okay?
Yeah.
Henrietta, can you read?
Sehr gut in Himmel.
Dieser.
Sehr gut.
Sehr gut in Himmel.
Sehr gut. Sweet God in heaven.
Yes.
Sehr gut in Himmel.
Guck schon herab auf der Erde. Was sind die Jeden so sindig? Was sie haben gar kein Wort.
Yeah.
Look down on the earth. Where you will see the Basen and the Eden so Zindig. Are the Jews so guilty? Is Zindig guilty?
So sinful.
Sinful.
Zindig.
That they don't have a word to say.
That they have no worth. They're so sinful that they're worthless.
He's asking. It's asking that, right?
I will
Right.
suggest that
He's
Maurice will
asking
translate it
God.
once
Right.
more.
Right.
Maurice, please translate it once more so we will
Sure.
get all of it. Please.
Siehst du Gott in Himmel, sweet God in heaven, guck schon herab auf der Erde. Look down on the earth now. Wo sind die Jiden so sintig? Are the Jews so sinful? Wo sie haben gar kein Wert? That they have no value? They're worthless?
Okay. So let me just make it louder because it's very, and I will mute all of you because otherwise.
Cash of a pogrom. After so Pesach of the night, his voice on a sky, als jeden soll liegen behalten, sie tun sich nicht drehen in Gas, als jeden soll liegen behalten, sie tun sich nicht drehen in Gas. Oi, süßer Gott im Himmel, kiek schön herup auf der Erd, seh nach dem raschen Getimmel, was haben die Jiden verwehrt. Seh nach dem raschen Getimmel, was haben die Jiden verwehrt. Aho, es sind drei Guren, hab'n gelegt bis zu dem Grind, Bettgewand hat man gerissen, die Federn gelost auf dem Wind. Bettgewand hat man gerissen, die Federn gelost auf dem Wind. In die Federn ist man gegangen, also wie Winter im Schnee. Farbe hat man geschlagen, Männer gerissen auf zwei. Farbe hat man geschlagen, die Männer zerrissen auf zwei. Süße Gott im Himmel, kiek schön herup auf der Welt, wo sind die Jiden, wo sind die, wo sie haben gar kein Wert. Wo sind die Jiden, wo sind die, wo sie haben gar kein Wert.
Okay.
Can somebody tell a little bit about that pogrom? Because I know it was terrible. And what is a pogrom? I mean, let's translate also. Anybody know?
What
Yeah,
is a pogrom?
I've read a lot about it since my grandmother was in it.
Oh,
And
good.
basically around Easter time, the priests in the churches would start to do a really heavy preaching about, you know, something terrible about the Jews, and people would get roused up, and there were gangs of young men who wandered around the city doing mischief, and they would head toward the Jewish section and basically start, you know, harassing people. But this time others came out and they started burning and raping and just tearing up the whole Jewish section, which was, you know, it wasn't a ghetto, but it was, the Jews lived close together in a few areas. There were like, I think about 3 parts of town that got hit and where the Jews mostly live. And it went on for you know, a couple of days. And so everybody hid in the cellars, hid in the attics, hid, you know, whatever they could. They couldn't really, first they would try to, you know, take their money, but if anybody objected, they just killed people. And basically the police just never showed up. That was one of the big things. Nobody ever tried to stop it. And that was one of the big things that was complained about later, that, it wasn't the Tsar, it was instigation from the one that did the protocols publishing, but nobody came in to slow things down. So the place was a wreck after that, and a lot of people were lost. What else do you need to know?
I remember my mother telling me that they came in and they took liquor, whatever they wanted, and
they would steal. They would steal anything worthwhile, gold or anything they could get their hands on as well. Yeah.
Yeah, but they pulled his beard, she remembered, and knocked him down or something like that. And I guess that's when they left to come here.
It was after that my whole family in Bessarabia immigrated to Argentina, all like 10 of them.
But they also said
pogroms were a tradition in Europe that had begun many, many years before that.
Right.
The first pogroms probably started around 1095, 96 in Germany at the time of the Crusades, because the Crusaders decided that why did they need to go all the way to Jerusalem when they had Jews around that they could kill. But regarding the Kishinev pogrom, Chaim Nachman Bialik wrote one of the most famous poems about it, and it's called "The City of Slaughter" in English.
One thing that really
every student in Israel is learning this at
one thing that really surprised me as I started learning about it, which nobody ever told me when I was young, is that this Kishinev pogrom was so startling, I guess, that it was in every Jewish newspaper around the world, and people sent aid and knew about it. Whereas many of the others were, I guess, small enough that, they didn't get that much publicity.
I was reading about that, and the thing is interesting. There were other pogroms even before that, of course, that were larger and with many more victims. But the Kishinev pogrom had more publicity. Newspapermen from the States, for example, from the Hearst organization, were sent to Kishinev to write about it. And that's why it became so famous. But it wasn't the biggest. I think about 43 people got killed in this pogrom.
Yeah, it wasn't thousands or anything.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't hundreds. Yeah. And there were others that had many, many more people, but they weren't publicized as this one was.
Right.
Maybe it was just at the point when the Jewish newspapers were so multiple and having enough power that they could do something like let people know about it.
It's possible.
Yeah.
I think the worst pogroms, from what I read, were in Ukraine in 20 and 21, or 21 and 22 were the worst. I don't know what cities.
Well, okay, Maurice, you are muted. I muted everyone, so if someone wants to speak, so please unmute yourself. Yeah, Maurice.
Right, it was at the end of World War I that Ukraine had this huge wave of pogroms, and there were tens of thousands of Jews were killed all over Ukraine. It was 1917, 1918, 1919. That was the peak. That was the peak of the pogroms. Thousands and thousands of people, not only killed, but tortured, blinded, raped.
And all the buildings crashed. So they didn't even really have a safe place to hide after it. It was like after an earthquake. You can't safely go back into your house and shut the door. You have to start rebuilding so that you have, an enclosure that.
And there was a case, and they said that we killed a child to use his blood to make matzah. That was another thing that the priest would say, and that's
that's what usually I was going to say, the blood libel. That's
Correct.
usually what set the pogroms off at
Right.
at Easter time, because
And that's Passover. It's the same thing.
Well, Easter Passover, yeah.
Right. So that was the blood libel that we had to live through.
Okay, so we are moving to the story, which is not less daunting than the song itself. So, but unless someone wants to add something, I see that Julia wants to add something.
This is a question, and that was about the significance of the protocols of the elders of Zion. What is the significance of that? And then what it
That's a problematic question, because many PhDs were given for this and written for this question.
Well,
That's
but
it's
it's
too
still
broad. It's
The
too
short,
broad.
the short answer is that it's a book, a fake book, copied probably from something that was written in France originally.
Yeah.
And basically what it does, it says that the Jews are a cabal, a group that want to take over the world for their own purposes.
And isn't it still going on?
It's gonna go on forever.
Yes.
Henry Ford endorsed it or paid for it. Henry Ford was behind it.
What I was thinking of.
Henry Ford in our country, and they're still being published some places.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Very scary. Very scary.
The Protocols was first published the year of the Kishinev pogrom.
Okay.
That year, he serialized it in his newspaper, and he probably wrote it himself.
Yeah.
Okay, Rochelle?
On an entirely different and lighter note, this is the vocabulary from my childhood. A deck was what was filled with feathers and what we call a duvet or today. Tzich was what we put over the deck, which is a duvet cover. A kutz was a blanket, like an army blanket or some woolen kind of thing. And a lalech was a sheet.
Yes.
So
Thank
vocabulary.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for adding to the vocabulary. Okay, Bob?
Oh, God. I hate to go back to the depressing Maurice stories, but talking about the blood libel. So the modern blood libel is that the Israelis are killing Palestinian children to use their organs and harvesting their organs to use to save Jews. That's the current one. And there's a presumably scholarly book written by a Rutgers professor that's being used in universities, which is promoting that. Whether there's any basis of truth to it or not, no one seems to be suing the guy, or although people are putting up their hands and objecting to the book, what it says, it's still out there and being used in university courses, including Princeton University. So we're harvesting Palestinian children's organs now.
What book is this?
I'll send it to you.
Don't send me the book.
Not the book.
He's not sending the book.
I'll send you the.
A lot of times these things wind up. A lot of times these things wind up. I mean, I live across the street, and my neighbor works in the Jewish Studies department of Rutgers, and I've never heard this story. I'm not saying it's not true, but I'm saying that sometimes these stories get a life of their own.
No, I agree with you, Steve. But Gottenheimer, our representative in New Jersey, had actually written a letter to Eisengruber, who's the president, and a Jew whose parents or family were killed in the Holocaust, whose family, not parents, but family. And he's defending this free speech concept. But I mean, but certainly there is some basis to. Yeah, I'll send you a link to the name.
Thank you.
Store, sure.
Okay, but let's not get into modern politics. Okay, we can go back, but modern politics is a complicated thing. Susan, and we go back to the story. Susan.
Always a good saying we think of Pesach as a wonderful family holiday, but in Yiddish, there's a saying, Pesachzeit, wenn a Yid hat mehr Schreck wie Hor auf'n Kopf, because that was the time when they were thinking about the death of Jesus and blaming Jews. So Pesachzeit, wenn a Yid hat mehr Schreck wie Hor auf'n Kopf.
I never
Okay,
heard
thank
it.
you. That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Let's move to the story. What am I doing? Oh, okay. So, okay. So let me just make it bigger when I get to the. Okay, we stopped at. Okay, it's big enough now?
Yeah.
Yes?
Can
We
you go
stopped?
one more? Can you go one more?
Yes, a little bit more. Yes. Okay, that's better?
Great. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so we are here second the sentence, Lemoshel. Susan, please, Lemoshel.
Lemoshel Ot is Yosef Henech. Yosef Henech's gestorben noch. For example, Yosef Henech is already died. Eider min hot im gebracht in Turme rein. Before they brought him to the Turme?
Jail. Prison.
Jail.
To the prison. Oh, he was dead before they brought him to prison.
So just a moment, Susan, but because the sentence before he says that to everyone, man should have his luck. So you say, here he gives an example of luck. He died even before he got to the prison. And I see that Raphael has raised his hand. Raphael?
It's all very ironic.
Yeah. Raphael,
Weiter is nicht
just a moment, Susan. Raphael wanted to add something.
Yeah, I wanted to point out that noch and Eder go together. It's not gestorben noch. It's gestorben noch Eder. Man hat ihm gebracht.
Even before.
Even before. Okay, thanks, Susan. Go on.
Weiter ist nicht da kein Schum Neues dir zu schreiben. More than that, got nothing new to write to you. Nu und auf Nechamas dem Stolier's Sohn, and about Nechama, the carpenter's son, Leib, fragst du Gornish, and you're not asking about the carpenter's son, Leib? How come? Gedenkst dem? Do you remember him? Gewein a narischen, gewein a Gornish mit a nicht. He was nothing. He wasn't worth anything. Yeah? Oh, yeah? Leib, Dreib, Obderik. That's the nickname they gave him. Leib, Dreib, Obderik. Hat men ihm gerufen. That's what they called him. That's like a dope.
So what does it mean, Leib, Dreib, Obderik? Raphael?
1, 2, 3, go.
Yeah, an obderik is a carcass, or it also can mean poultry that's already been cooked. I also want to point out that the father is Nehemiah, not Nechama. That would be a female. This is Nehemiah, who is the stallier. And the son's name is Leib. It's like label. I guess you can pronounce it Leib. It's an accent difference.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. Beverly? Yeah?
I just need to be reminded. Are we continuing from last week? A letter?
Yes, we continue from last week. You remember it's 2 letters. One that American is sending to Russia, in which he describes what he's doing in America and how he's, and he's writing in English, mostly, English word in Yiddish. And then now that's his friends from Russia is writing a letter back to him, and he tells him what's going on in Russia. So he tells him about the pogroms and everything over there. Okay, it's clear?
Thank you.
Okay, so Susan, go on. Sorry for the...
Eindelijk der Biograaf in Petropavlovsk Krepost. What is that? In Petersburg jail?
Yeah, it's the Petropavlovsk fortress, Peter and Paul fortress in St. Petersburg, which was a prison for political prisoners.
Wow. Now he's lying there like a prince in Petersburg prison. Zestu of women says your Arachmonis Nebuch. Now you see who really deserves pity, Nebuch. It's a shame. Of Slatten, sie sucht of Slatkin, sie sucht men is geriert for Tsurus. And about Zlata, they say she's just turned inside out from Tsurus, from her troubles. A kleine guy, oh, it's nothing. Verlieren in een Woche 2 Kinder. Oh, she lost in 1 week 2 children. Und Avram Moshe's son is showing its Avada in America. And Avram Moshe's son is surely in America. Als du wirst ihm sehen, suchst ihm, sollst du ihm losen, grüßen und sagen, als sein Tate is
Молодец.
A молодец, okay. And okay, and if you see him, you should only let him know. If you see him, you should greet him and say to him that his father is a wonderful guy, молодец. Is gestorben noch vor der Constitution. He died defending, I think, for the Constitution.
No, before the
Constitution. Fighting for the Constitution.
No, died before the Constitution. Before the Constitution, problems were raised.
He died before the Constitution. Und Mottel unsere is glatt verfallen geworden, and our Mottel is just he fell, he was killed. Me weiß nicht wo is. They have no idea where he is. Seinen Otto Zoya Sach is
it's a Russian word.
What is it?
It means
it's
disappear.
A Russian word. Stenznet, disappearances.
Oh, geworden. And there were a lot of disappearances. Me weiß nicht wo gewein, wo gewein is hingekommen. They don't know where the bodies are found.
Gewein are remains.
What is it?
Remains.
Oh, with the remains where they wound up. A Sach seinen sich zu laufen. A lot ran away. A Sach seinen geharget geworden. Many were killed. Und a Sach ruhen sich aus in die Turmes, and some of them are resting up in the prisons. Spazieren herum in Sibir. Schneien, they're walking around just
in the Siberian snows.
In the snows of Siberia. Arbeiten mit der Tatschke. And they work. What is the tachke?
Wheelbarrow.
Nur women hören sie. But who hears them?
Or who hears them? Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah. Any other suggestion?
What is a tachka with a tough?
A wheelbarrow.
Oh, a wheelbarrow.
Yes, Morty?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that there was a mention about the Constituție that seems to be a little, there's no explanation about it. I just wanted to say that the revolution of 1905 was a revolution to establish in Russia a constitution and people's representation, sort of like eventually the Duma, the Senate or House of Representatives. And there were many, many Jews that participated in that revolution. And of course, when the revolution was brought down, the non-Jews were not guilty, but the Jews were.
So I wondered about that. There, he's saying he died, what was it, before the Constitution or whatever. Was there something in the Constitution that was specifically about Jews or religious rights or anything that would have affected the Jews?
Well, the proposed Constitution or whatever it was that was being proposed had equal rights for everybody.
So it would have had a big effect on the Jewish
had a big
community.
Impact and limited the power of the Tsar too.
Thank you.
I think, okay. So Morty, if you're here, go on, read. Chevre.
Ja, Chevre haben sich eingespart einmal für allemal. Some people hit at once and forever. Other Constitutie, other crank, either a constitution or a sickness.
Yeah, but here crank, I think it means nothing.
Or we die.
Yeah, or something
Constitution
like
or death.
Yeah, something like this, yeah.
Kein Hochmes geht nicht tun bei uns. There are no jokes about this. Bal Maluchis, wie sagt Getzel. Workers, as Getzel says, lo תאוצח ולא תדושבח.
לא מעוקצך ולא מדובשך.
Can you translate that? Because I don't.
Not from your stinging and not from your honey.
Okay. Like
it
a
means
bee.
Not from the bad things, not from the good things.
Goes. Sei mir nicht kein Vetter and name mir nicht kein Stiefel. Don't be an uncle, literally, but don't be a nice guy to me, and don't sew me any boots. A modern Mensch oder Getzig. A strange guy, this Getzig. Einsehen hat man ihm weggelegt in der Melchume. One of his sons got killed during the war. The other one sitzt in a lane is a euch of Zures. The other one sits probably in jail and is also in big problems. Nor kommt sie a Gleichwertel oder a Pusik. But come to a saying or a part of a saying in the Bible. Hoch im avek haptem avech derich. May the devil take him. Und weiter.
Just a moment, Morty. I think in der Milchume. What Milchume? I think that Rafael wants to answer. Yes.
Well, I wanted to point out just another thing first. Ein son, so one son he lost in a war. That's mostly the Russian-Japanese war.
Exactly.
And the other one is in prison. And he himself, this is Getzi himself, he also has got problems. But still, he always loves a joke.
Okay, so the Milchuma year is the 1904 to 905 Russian-Japanese war that led to the uprising and to the demands for constitution. Okay, go on, Morty.
Okay, und weiter ist nicht too mehr kann Neues zu schreiben. And further than that, there are no more news to write about.
That's enough.
Yeah,
Says,
but
"Don't-"
wait.
And he's only halfway through the letter, right?
Yeah, wait for it. Yes. Go on, Morty.
Says Donken Gott Blahopoluchne. That's Russian. I don't know what that means.
What was it? I think that Rafael translated it, but I lost it.
I translated it as all right. Everything's
Remember
okay.
Thank God. Okay. It is, thank God, everything all right. Und wir sind alle, Baruch Hashem, in besten gesinnt. And we are, thank God, in the best of health. Achitz vos Hannah Rickel meine, klugt sich nebech auf den Herzen. Except for what my Hannah Rickel complains about her heart. A vertale oizureden, a saying to mention, the Pachdem, was me steht du ois fin die expropriaties, a fear, a huge fear that we live here due to the expropriations.
Okay, so everyone knows what expropriations are? Morty, can you explain?
I think they're talking about the government taking away the properties of the Jews.
Not only this, in order to support, it was, I'm not sure it was a Russian invention, but it was very common in Russian that in order to support an uprising, a revolution, or whatever, the Bolsheviks used to do it alone. They used to rob banks, rob people, just get into houses and take whatever they want, and just, some of it ended, really for the revolution or for whatever they needed. Some of it ended in private, and so that was the expropriations.
It's explained in the next sentence too.
Yeah, that's going to be explained in the next couple of sentences.
Well, it will be described what it is. Yes.
You probably don't know how do you eat this? What does this mean? I will explain to you. I will write it.
Okay, thank you, Morty. We will
You're
leave
welcome.
it now. We will go now to Rafael because some of it afterwards is Russian, and so Rafael.
Me kommt rein zu dir in Stube rein mit der fertiger Bombe. They come into your house with a bomb already, ungefüllt davke nicht mit Matzemel, and it's filled actually not with matzah meal, nor mit Pulver, or mit Zwerches, rather with powder and with nails.
Nails.
Me sagt zu dir, Ruki Werch, and they say to you, raise your hands.
Hands up.
Yeah, hands up, exactly. Getzia ruft us on. Getzia, the jokester, calls it Se'uyadechem, raise your hands. He's quoting from a prayer that one recites sometimes after washing one's hands. Ben zerspiljet dir die Kapotte, and they unbutton your kapotte, your cloak. Men nimmt zu bei dir was du hast, and they take away from you anything you've got. Und ruf me ka knacknissel. And just call me a knacknissel, call me a nutcracker, which means nothing you can do about it. Anummelton recently, zanen rein zu mir zwei Chevra light. There came into my house two of these fellas, gesagt mit mir dem Apostel. They recited this verse to me, hands up, und zogen them bei mir die Maschine, and they took away my machine. He's a tailor, so this would be his sewing machine. When a behema habe ich gehabt, is sie allein gepegert. I also had a cow, and it died on its own. Und mein Broche is Nora größere Eviente. My brocha, that's one of his relatives, is even a poorer person, wie sie es gewähnt, than she was before. Und Alteren geht euch ab genug zu nogid. And for another fellow, Alter, he's also far enough away from being a rich person.
I think that's his two kids, his two children.
Okay. Yeah. So bracha brucha is one
it's
of them.
Name. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Alter is the other.
She's become even more poor than she was. And Alter, he's far from being a rich person. Und Leserin and another one, Leser, hat man herausgeschickt nicht lang for a pass. Not long ago, they sent him off for a pass because he didn't have a passport. He didn't have his papers, something like that.
The permit.
A permit, yeah.
In Russia, you needed a permit to go from one place to the other.
To another, yes.
A mitzvah.
So maybe a Reusgeschicht. Usually a Reusgeschicht is to Siberia.
Yes,
so
I think that's
right.
Yes, exiled him.
He was sent off.
Exiled because he didn't have permit.
Yeah. A mitzvah. Wer is ihm schuldig? Lozer nit sein kein melamed. So it was actually a good thing because wer is ihm schuldig? Who was guilty on his account, something like that.
Or who owes him?
Who owes him, right?
Who owes him anything?
Yeah, Lozer nit sein kein melamed. So maybe he shouldn't be a teacher. And Mendel hat sich auch schön ausgefeilt. And Mendel, he also very nicely became a fine person. Genommen und gestorben. He took and died. A Teilsagen von der Chachotke. A Teilsagen von Hunger. Some people say that it was from tuberculosis. I think that's what Chachotke.
Yeah. Chachotke is TB, is consumption.
Yeah. Teilsagen, some others say von Hunger, that he died of hunger. Und ich mein, but I think as von beide Sachen, that he had died of both things. Und Binyamin's Kaddish dient, and the son, Benjamin's son, who recites Kaddish for Benjamin. So it's Benjamin's, Benjamin has died now. Benjamin's son is in the army, dient. He's serving. Und von der Cholera schmust men bei uns ganz Geschmack. And they're really talking nicely about the cholera. Now, it's sometimes it's spelled cholera, and here it's spelled cholera, the bad disease.
That's how it's in Hebrew. In Hebrew, it's written like
cholera.
Cholera, yeah. Although, of course, that's not etymologically what it comes from. But you'll see cholera spelled this way sometimes. So, and about the cholera, we're really talking really fine. No, das fehlt uns. That's all that's missing us.
That's all that we're missing.
That's all that we're missing. Yeah, the reason I put it, that's all that's missing us, is because that's my cousin who grew up in Israel and only learned English at home and not in the street, said it that way. That's all that's missing me.
Yeah, רק זה חסר לנו, we say.
Exactly.
רק זה חסר לנו.
It's exactly a calc in Hebrew from the Yiddish.
Yeah.
Und weiter ist nicht amerikanischem Neues dir zu schreiben. But beyond that, there's really nothing new to tell you, to write to you.
Okay. Thank you, Rafael. So let's continue. Karen, you can read this. Morty, yeah. Morty.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a mention here on what Rafael read, because a Kaddish in Jewish tradition, when you talk about a Kaddish or a Kaddishul, is usually the son who eventually is going to say Kaddish for one of his parents.
So in other words, the son that the father was depending on
to say Kaddish for him
was hauled off to the army.
Or in Siberia or wherever.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily the case that Binyamin has died. It's just that his son. Yes.
His son, right. As a matter of
and
fact,
the army was 25 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Huh?
They went They went into the army forever and ever.
No,
Right.
that was in the previous century. They were sent to the borders of the country for 25 years.
25 years.
Yeah.
But
that
afterwards,
was
at the beginning of the 20th century, it was changed, and it was not 25 years anymore.
Yes,
it was changed.
Yeah. I just wanted to mention the joke that I read somewhere about a Fremer Yid, an Orthodox Jew, who is talking to a secular Jew about something or other, and he says he shows him his dog and says, "This is my Kadeshul."
Right.
And the Orthodox man says,
right.
"I like the Kadeshul better than the bait one, than the one that's going to die."
I want to mention that, he's writing about the expropriation, and there is a story by him about, I think it's called like this, expropriation, I'm not sure, that it happens during Passover, and a group of people that don't have work enters the Nogid's house with a bomb, and they are eating and drinking and everything, and then they are leaving. And the family is terrified by the bomb. Only afterwards they find out that it was not a bomb at all, but because everyone was talking about expropriation, so some people just used it to, to get something out of others. So
yeah.
So, okay, I think we read it in class one time, but the Russian there is so much, it's impossible. So where are we here? Oh, okay, so Mer kann schon Neues dir zu schreiben. Okay, Karen, can you read? Or?
Yes.
Okay. Und
das, was dein Blume oder wie soll heißt sie heint, Jenny, and what your Bluma, or as she is called today, Jenny, willkommen zu fahren, that she wants to come, wollen wir gehen. We will go im Yerzer Hashem, God willing, in Offenfeld. We'll go together to the field.
To the cemetery.
To the cemetery. Sie ist uns dort zugekommen. There came there, Baruch Hashem, praise the Lord, a schön bissel Freund, a considerable amount of friends, von bekannter Schmuest Menit, not to mention acquaintances. Es kommt noch zu heint euch alle Tag, and more and up until today, more come every day to the
more are added, more are added
to be placed in the cemetery. Dein
Mer.
Oh, I'm sorry, I got a little bit lost.
Okay, Mer kein.
I'm still. Do you have an arrow or something like that? I just
it's the plus here. Mer kein.
Mer kein Neues is nito zu schreiben. More. There's no more news to write about. Sei gesund und los grüßen edlichen besonder gor freundlich. Goodbye, and greet each and every one of the friends.
Okay, just a moment, Karen, just a moment. Yes, Rafael?
Yeah, it's written a schön bissel Freund with a tess at the end. This is a hard one to get right. Freund with a tess at the end, Freund, means relatives. And Freund with a dalet at the end means friends. Okay. And so it says, we have in the cemetery already a schön bissel Freund, a good number of relatives.
Oh, thank you.
It sounds just the same, but it's spelled differently.
Okay, but it's spelled. Yeah, Mishpuche. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Karen, go on.
Kein Amerika for ich nicht. I am not traveling to America. Dein Amerika hebt mir nicht an zu gefallen. I don't your America doesn't begin to appeal to me. A land was Gazette heißt Papier, a country where
paper.
newspaper is called paper. Was von Blume wird Jenny, where Blume becomes Jenny. Und a Chasen hat 3 Weiber, and a groom has 3 wives. Von Azaland hat kein Vaterbill nit. From that kind of land, pardon, please excuse me, darf man laufen. People want to run away from it.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Karen. Brenda, can you go on? Brenda? She's not there? Okay. Okay, so David Katz? David?
Ja, ich bin da. Ja,
ja von deinem Brief. Von deinem Brief.
Entschuldigung. Von dein Brief sehe ich heraus, als wenn wir haben die Konstitution. From your letter, I see I can infer, I guess I see out that when we have here a constitution, was mir meinen, what we mean, bedarfen mir schon kein Schum Amerika nicht. We don't need any America.
So when we will have the constitution, we won't need any America.
Oh yeah, when we have it, yeah, we won't need America because wir haben a constitution. Okay. Dem haben wir besser America. Then we'll have a better America. Wie ihr dort by you over there, Vinkl. Sonst Gord kann Jesurim nicht haben. And you should not have any kind of pains or troubles. Azar stieg gold mir, und azar maka krushevanen. Such a little piece, such a piece of gold, such good luck, I guess, such piece of gold.
Yes, good luck or something, yeah.
In such a plague or maka plague, I guess krushevanen to suffer. Was for Constitutia, mir wählen, mir Hashem hoben. For better or worse, I guess he would be saying gold or maca. What we will, that type of constitution, we will, God willing, have. Halavai soll uns Gott un hassemen, a good yor, uns du un eich dorten. Halavai, so it shall be that God will write us in on Hassaman, a good yor, and you all over there. Von mir, dein Freund, Israel. From me, your I guess relative Israel. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Rafael.
Yeah, just a slight change there. Starting with Azashtik Gold Mir. It's a complicated sentence, but if you go to the end, we'll have such a constitution. It should be such a piece of gold for me and such a plague to Khrushchevan, is how I would understand that. Although it begins with such a piece of gold for me, such a plague for Khrushchevan, that what sort of a constitution we will, God willing, have.
Yeah.
Can I read from the English translation?
Yes, please.
We're going to get a good constitution, like I'm going to wake up a millionaire tomorrow. damn that anti-Semite Khrushchev with a pack of ulcers and plagues. So he's saying, after he says we'll get a great constitution, he says, really, we'll get a constitution like I'm going to be a millionaire, He doesn't believe it either, maybe.
Okay, so that's it for the story. Any comments, any question, any stories relating to it?
Talk about the ultimate optimist, huh?
Yeah.
It's like the Monty Python, the brighter side of life. he's unbelievable. Very, very funny. Well, kind of tragic.
It is kind of tragic, but the comparison between the American one and the Russian one, that's, it's just amazing.
The Americans are kvetching about little, hangnails, and here's this Russian, and you get the world coming down on him, and he's still positive, or something. He's keeping his.
I think it's our historic ability to laugh at our sorrows.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Any more comments or something before we move on to the story about Sukkot?
But a lot of people,
I skipped Yom Kippur because I think that story was enough even for Yom Kippur with all the markers. So,
but a lot of people didn't like it, and they did go back. Remember, a lot of people to their death. Actually, they didn't like America for what, like he said, they changed the names. They don't eat kosher.
They couldn't get used to a new environment.
Yeah, my grandmother's brothers came and they said, this is a trafe country. You can't raise your children here. They went back and they were all killed in the Holocaust.
Yeah.
Well, remember that many of the leading Orthodox and ultra-Orthodox leaders and rabbis in Europe tried to keep their flocks from going to America for exactly that reason. And they called it the Treif en el Land.
Okay.
Nevertheless, Rosh Yeshiva, Rabbi Cutler, got his yeshiva out on Shabbos, Friday night. He told them to get on the train, then get out.
Which rabbi?
Rabbi Cutler. There's a big yeshiva in Lakewood, New Jersey, the yeshiva that he founded.
Yeah, I think that's, are they the Gerer? Gary?
No, I'm talking about Rabbi Cutler. No, he was a Misnagid. He wasn't.
Okay.
Okay, Pikuach Nefesh.
Yes, of course.
Pikuach Nefesh Doche Shabbat.
And it was interesting how it all came about. He was alert. They were alerted to it because of someone came to the post at the post office. They handled all of your wires and transfers. And an Orthodox man came to the post office, and the postman gave him more change than he deserved, than he should have gotten. And he turned around and he said, "You gave me too much change." And he gave it back. And they were all used to the idea that Jews are all ganovim, that Jews are terrible people. That was what they were taught. And when the gentleman went home, he notified everyone around him. They may give you too much money, give it back immediately. Don't hesitate. Count and make sure. And indeed, that's what happened. And when the word came in that the Nazis were coming in, that postman alerted the man in the town, and he got a hold of the Rosh Yeshiva, and he said, "Get out, get on the train, get out." They took the train. They got out on Friday night.
Like what year was this?
I guess it was 39.
39 probably.
Yeah. They all went
okay, guys.
They ended up in Shanghai.
It was not an easy story to read. So next one is a bit easier, a bit, this is laughter. it's not only to read, it's not only easier to read, but also easier on the subject. So, and it deals with Sukkot and basically why women cannot sit in a sukkah.
What do you mean can't? Don't have to. You mean don't have to sit in the sukkah? Not can't.
So,
don't.
So let's start it. Let's just start it.
Can I, Minna? Can I
yes,
just wish everyone a Gamar Chatima Tova?
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Gamar Chatima Tova to everyone. From me, Sandy, from Teaneck. I wish you all a very happy and a healthy and successful New Year.
Thank you. Gmar Chatima Tova, everyone. Yeah. Okay. So, with stories, we are skipping Yom Kippur. I think the Sholem Aleichem was enough, and we will go to Sukkot. Just a moment. Do you see it? It's big enough?
Not quite.
Yep.
Okay.
Good. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, Steve, can you start reading?
Sure. Sukkos. Oif morgen noch Yom Kippur werd meer oif shliach van God. And in the morning after Yom Kippur,
ambassador.
I'm sorry?
An ambassador.
Let him do it. Let him do it. He can do it.
No, I just missed what you said.
Go on, translate it. That's okay. Go on.
Okay. In the morning after Yom Kippur, I don't know what shliach is.
Messenger. A messenger.
I received a message from God?
No, we are waiting.
Oh, waiting for, warten. Okay, sorry. Yeah. Muss doch kommen noch unsere nächtige Ziviles und Tränen. He must certainly come to us or for after us tomorrow.
Yesterday's.
Yesterday.
After yesterday's.
After yesterday's tefillah.
Prayers.
Voorterrein.
Tefillas und Tränen. So he has to come to us after yesterday's prayers and tears.
Oh, all right. Okay. Voorterrein in Hoif Poyer mit a wagon a Wogen Suches.
No.
Schach is what you put on the sukkah.
On the sukkah, the roof of the sukkah.
The roof of the sukkah is schach.
Traveling in the yard is a poor man,
a
peasant.
With a wagon of straw.
It's a kind of what you put on the roof of the sukkah.
Branches and bamboo.
Yeah, it's branches, but yeah, brambles.
Kehrt über dem wagon. It was all over the wagon.
No. A kehrt. He just, how do you do? No.
Turned over.
He turned over the wagon.
Ooh, that's important. Thank you. He turned over the wagon. Stechendicke Zweigen Farrell aninder
Fallen anieder.
Fallen anieder legen sich an eine auf de an andere. I can't translate this. I'm sorry.
Okay, Morty, can you? That's okay.
Yeah,
Morty, can you translate it for him?
Yeah, pointy.
Okay.
Yeah, stechelig is pointy. That
right.
stitch. Zweigens is
twigs, branches.
Twigs.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Fall around.
Right.
They lie one on top of the other.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Steve. Yes, Marsha?
Can you translate a poyer as a farmer?
A poyer is a peasant. No.
Peasant.
What does a peasant do?
It depends, all kinds of things. It doesn't have to be a farmer, but a poyer is a peasant.
Drives a wagon, hauls things from one place to another.
Yeah. Beverly, can you go on?
Usually a poyer is understood as a very poor non-Jew.
Oh.
Yeah.
And can you translate Steckdinja?
Pointy.
But sharp. Ashtoch is when you stick yourself with something.
That's right. When you stick somebody else, you give a shtoch.
Susan, yes.
I think the point is that a peasant would not be coming to the Jewish house with that kind of merchandise. He's just doing it specifically because it's Sukkot time.
It's Sukkot, yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Der Häuf wird wie a Wald. What's a Häuf? The
yard.
The yard.
Becomes like a
forest.
Pasture?
Forest.
Oh, forest. Schmeckt mit smola. It smells with, I don't know what is smell.
Tar.
What?
Tar. T-A-R.
Tar. Oh, wow. It smells like tar. Mit sosne. I don't know what that is either.
Pines. The trees. Pines.
Oh, pines! Wow,
they're actually a good smell.
The schach is fresh. Schach is the stuff that you put on the top of the sukkah, right?
Right.
Yes. I don't know how to translate that. Is fresh.
Sure, it's like
yeah.
sure.
The stuff is fresh.
It's just recently cut. It's not old.
Right. The erste Regen, just like a new rain. The große Runnendicke Feiglin, so beautifully written. Liegen die Zweigen und es geht von sie a riech wie a Gesang. Oh, let's see. Like big ruindick resting birds lie liegen die Zweigen. The what is Zweigen? The stuff.
The branches.
The branches. And it goes like smells via song, right?
Yes.
Gate von zij, a smell like a song.
Yeah.
So beautifully written.
Right.
Verkriegt men auf dem Bergschach. So they try to get on the mountain of Schach, right? They crawl, right?
But it's not saying who's doing the crawling.
They crawl. No, they crawl.
No, she means it's like if you go on the mountain of Schach.
Yes, get a krechts on a bike unter die Fies. You my krechts. It's so hard to translate this. How do you translate krechts?
Groan.
I know.
A groan.
A
groan, right? You give a groan and you bend and you're bent under your feet.
No, it's not you. If you when you try to go on the on the mountain of Schach. So the Schach, the Schach is doing
get it grown.
Grown under your feet.
And your feet go down. They beg. It's so hard to translate.
No, it bites under the feet.
It bends under.
The Schach is doing it under the feet, under your foot.
Men sich im Avig fällt der Berg in ganzen ein. So if you just move yourself, Avig is like you just move yourself. So the mountain falls down and totally, right? Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes.
But was teppest du dem Schach? Why are you? What's teppest? Oh, tup. Why are you touching? Tup. Yeah. Why are you touching the Schach? Laufen on die Brüder mit a Geschrei. The brothers ran up with a yell. Main says, "Hey, do you think it's hay?" Says doch der Schach. It's the branches. Sie schleppen heraus die Zweigen von unter meine Füße. They take out the, how do you say Zweigen?
The branches.
Branches.
Oh, the word. What?
Twigs.
Oh, the twigs. That's it. They take the twigs out from under my feet. Jeder Zweig, every twig gets sich schwer I can't see that word. A Hybe, okay. Von der Erde. Treißelt sich auf mit die Stechelech. Every twig gives you a hard, it's hard, a hard.
A hay.
What's a hay? What's a hay?
Lift.
Lifts up. A hay.
Lifts up from the earth, and then and then you walk around with, I think it's like we walk around with the twigs, right? Is that correct? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Treißelt sich auf mit die Stechelech. With the sticks, Stechel sticks.
Yeah.
I think
what is treißel?
They're resisting being picked up. And and the fact that they can stick you is comforting them. This is the stick.
It's describing.
That's my interpretation. This is about the sticks, not the person.
That's
right. That's about the sticks, not
did we say who wrote this? Bella Chagall?
Yeah, that's Bella Chagall.
Yeah.
Whenever I need a story about holidays, she wrote in her book Brennen Dikelir, she describes a lot of holidays, and so that's for me is a treasure. I think we will.
We should stop
here. Yeah, and we will continue. We will continue next week. So she, in her book, in Brennen Dikelir, she describes all kinds of holidays. So she has Rosh Hashanah and Sukkot and Chanukah, Purim, whatever you want. And so it's really a treasure of, but it's from the point of view of a child, of something like she's there, something like 10 or 12 or something. And she describes the holidays the way a child sees them. And I think
but also from the old days.
What's the name of the author?
Yeah.
What's the next word? Sorry.
What's the name of the author? I came in here in the middle.
Bella Chagall.
The wife of Marc Chagall.
She was his first wife. Yeah, she was his first wife. Okay. And so she has another book in which she describes her relationships with Chagall himself, how she got to know him and how they became
in Yiddish?
In Yiddish, yeah. You can find it in the Yiddish Book Center. You can find both of them. This, for some reason, I found it on the internet, so I didn't went to the book itself. That's why it's also Chagall added drawing to the book. So if you want to see Chagall's drawing, so just go to the book itself, Brennen Dikelir, and you will find it there. And so her descriptions are really amazing. So I think that's why it's more. Yes.
And what does Brennen Dikelir mean? In what does it mean?
Burning candles.
Burning candles. Burning candles. Because she's also writing about Shabbos. She's writing about the mikveh, the bathhouse and all these things. So yeah, but it's burning candles. Yes, Maurice?
I just wanted to point out that we had the word smolet and the person translated as tar. Smolet in this context is not tar like the tar that you put on a road. It's the sosna smolet. It's from pine trees.
It's a sap.
It's the bark.
Okay.
It's the resin.
Sap.
You can smell the pine sap, the resin. It's not.
And why would that, Maurice, why would that be in there?
To put the sticks together, probably.
Because they're probably bringing in all kinds of, the schach is woods that have been cut down in the forest, and some of it might be from pine trees. So you've got these branches and you've got these twigs from pine trees that have just been cut.
Okay, so they're sticky
got
and
their sap, their resin, and you can smell
the sap, like the sap or something. Yeah, or resin maybe coming from
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Actually, I believe it's called pitch.
Okay.
No.
Fine.
No.
Okay.
No, this is
Bob, I see that you want to say something, but you're muted, Bob.
Oh.
Again muted. Again.
It's the resin and the pine smell. So you have the touch of the resin, it's sticky, and the smell. She's just recalling her memories of childhood.
Yeah.
So these are the senses that are just being, and so Chagall is kind of telling you all her senses from that experience. And that's what we remember.
She's painting a picture with her words.
Right. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
All of her senses.
Very nice. Thank you.
Any other question? Anything to add? Personal comments before we...
Is a bissel noch eine Zeger.
You suppose? Okay. Okay.
Or I should say sis a bissel.
Okay, guys, so I'll see you next week. And Mar Chatima Tova, everyone.
Yeah, this is lovely.
Gringen Tanis. Gringen Tanis.
Who's with the Tanis? Gita Tanis. Okay.
Translate, please.
An easy fast.
Yeah.
An easy fast. Okay. Now
how about in Yiddish?
Yeah.
Gringen Tanis.
Gringer Tanis.
Thomas, is that Yiddish?
Tanis is a fast, yeah.
Tanis, yes.
Somebody put it in the chat while the chat's still open.
Yeah.
Okay, but when Marsha sends us the recording, she also sends us the chat. So if you want to check something in the weekly chat, you can go and check it over there. And
that's
thank
wonderful.
you, Marsha.
Thank you,
Marsha, for doing it all the time.
That's wonderful. Thanks. But Marsha, does everybody get it, or am I supposed to send it out?
I don't get it.
Well, I send it to a few people, but it is on your when you send out every week the Vinkl, the corner, when you get your newsletter.
It's the same link. If you have an old link, just go to that YouTube page, and they're all on the same page.
You mean the recording on the
Michael in the weekly news puts it there, so you
I
can
didn't
check
know
it from there.
To look more carefully.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Look more carefully at the newsletter. It has treasure. It has lots of really nice things. Okay, I saw that. Cookie, you wanted to say something before?
I was just thinking I was going to say Zeit gesund, and that's like the other word Frank and Frank. That's the first time I heard that with a dollar and a cent. As man sagt, Zeit gesund, that's to a stranger. And as man sagt, sei gesund, that's to an eigener. Is that correct?
Yes, one is more formal than the other.
Yes.
Zeit,
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
gesund
Oh,
is
wow.
informal, and Zeit
That's
is
formal and
with the
informality
test
is
at the
very
end
difficult in Yiddish.
is formal.
Yeah, I used to say to my Vetter, ich hab Eichlib, sagt er zu mir, du darfst nicht sagen Eich, darfst sagen, ich hab dir lieb. Verstehst? Weil ist gewesen ein eigener. And that's very difficult. We don't have that in English. You is you, you know, but in Yiddish, it's, so that's the first time I heard of Freund and Freind. I would say Mishpacha Liktu. And
yeah, but that's that's Shalom Aleichem. He has a better language sense, so that's why.
Than we do.
Than we do. Yeah. We will come back to him after the Sukkot. We will read another thing because Rafael sent me a parody that Shalom Aleichem wrote about Shund. So after the Sukkot, we will return to Shalom Aleichem. So
wait,
looking forward.
Yeah, it's something really to look forward to.
I see
someone,
guys. Wait. Okay. I see someone whose name is Kichel. Who is that?
Kichel is cookie.
That's me. They gave me kichel instead of cookie. Cookie in Yiddish is kichel.
Oh, that's so funny. That's so funny.
And now nobody knows who it is. Right?
Yeah.
Kichela instead of
kichel. A kichel is cookie.
I know, cookie. Oh, very cute. How do you get it to stay there all the time?
My name is Rachel. Mama make it from Rachela, but there are so many Rachels and so many Rachelas that.
Right, in this class.
Cookie, so they made it kichel. No.
Very funny. Oh, that's hysterical.
A rose by any other name is just as sweet, right?
Okay. Okay. Hi, Louisa.
Hi, everybody. It's nice to be back.
Oh, she's back. All right.
I wish you all Gmar Chatima Tova.
Chatima Tova, everyone, and see you next week.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Gmar Chatima Tova.